Fort Worth leaders kicked off the new school year by celebrating a staffing milestone: no teacher vacancies.
Every single classroom has a teacher in front of them with additional teachers at the district office waiting to make sure that no one calls in sick. That is unprecedented in Fort Worth, and it's unprecedented in many, many districts.
Well, the announcement marks a significant turnaround for the district. Earlier this year, leaders were dealing with 1,000 staff departures. And a lot of kids excited to get back to school today. Marielle, parents have been sending us their back to school pics all morning long. And we've also got some really excited parents, I'm sure, as well. Depending on how your summer went, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about that today.
I mean, I was at the pool yesterday.
Yes.
And there were so many dads with their kids. I think a lot of moms are probably like, look, it's the last day. You just got to take over.
Or some prepping going. It was maybe like prepping. They were divide and conquer too.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Okay, so we joked about it this morning, but really Fashion All Week is going to be light and airy.
Yes, I mean, absolutely. And really something to think about: hydration all day.
Okay.
Not just during those after school activities, not just during recess. Make sure the kiddos are drinking plenty of water at breakfast as well. So here is what it looks like right now. Oh, are we seeing some?
There they go.
Oh, so cute.
Okay, those were cute. Sorry, I only got a glimpse. We're back. And we'll do it again. We'll do it again. Here you go. Well, you got to show them. Come on. I mean, we appreciate you sending them in. Look at that.
Oh, I like the siblings one. That's fun.
No trepidation at all. Bring it on.
It looks like everyone was appropriately dressed for the heat today. 89 degrees right now, feeling like 94 when you factor in that humidity. Winds are out of the southwest at about 5 to 10. That southwest wind generally helps increase the temperature a couple degrees, especially in the afternoon hours, and that's exactly what's going to happen today. At times the winds are going to kick up a little bit, gusting close to about 20. Right now, it's 91 degrees in Denton, 90 in Fort Worth, and about 89 in McKinney and in Terrell. Factor in the humidity, it already feels like 98 in Denton. Very soon, it'll already feel like the triple digits. I'm expecting a lot of triple digit heat index values this afternoon. And this should say on Monday, your day planner, we are looking at a temperature of 98 degrees around 100 degrees expected at around 4 this afternoon, with a heat index at around 104. And I know that this is something you have to pay close attention to, especially for any of those after school activities. I know a lot of kids are out maybe still doing two-a-days. Fungus is at a moderate. Grass pollen is at a low. Elm, which is a tree pollen, is at a low. And we've got a lot of weeds at a low category as well, including ragweed showing up on today's pollen count. We'll take a closer look at the slim potential for rain today. We'll also talk about those triple digits. That's all coming up in a bit. But first, I want to get you a check-in with our traffic. Erica, you were talking about that traffic alert.
Yes, Marielle, you're exactly right. We are still following this traffic alert that we actually had during daybreak toward the end of the thick of the morning commute. What happened was this box truck right here that they're working to clear with a couple heavy duty tows at the high 5. It was actually the front wheel kind of hanging off this concrete median wall here. Very scary situation. This ramp has been shut down. I'll take you over to where it is on the map. It's the 635 eastbound ramp to 75 south. And of course will be closed until we can get things back open out here. As far as the traffic flow goes passing by, it's looking okay. But of course, if that is a ramp that you need to take or you were planning to this midday hour, I would definitely just think about working around that, of course, this hour. And we'll, of course, update you when things get back to normal there. On 75, just a little bit further north here, northbound at Gallatin, we've got that daytime road work that we see often during the weekdays with that right lane closure. A little bit of congestion, but not too extreme. That's the second thing I want to show you. And then the third thing we've been watching is a crash on 35E. We can see it from our Hebron Parkway camera, but it's right here at Sam Rayburn Tollway this morning. I'll take you over to where this is on the map, just over the Dallas County line into Denton County there again, 35E southbound. So those are just the few things that we're following. The map as a whole is actually looking pretty good this morning. But if you need to head out and run some errands, those are the few things I want you to avoid. 30 in Rockwall County looking a whole lot better than the daybreak drive here at John King. Kara, I'll send things back to you.
Glad to hear that. Some good news. Thanks, Erica. New today, the Fort Worth Education Partnership released its 2025 academic performance report, and it shows a huge improvement. The data shows 48% of Fort Worth kids are reading on grade level, according to the organization. That is the highest on record. 68% of campuses did show improvement. And new this school year, Fort Worth ISD is looking to expand school choice and create more pathways for students. The district launched a new school choice committee, bringing together education, business, and community leaders. The group will focus on innovative school models, college and career partnerships, and expanding access to advanced placement courses. District leaders say the goal is to give every family more high-quality options. Now, no matter what school district you live in, we do have everything you need to know to kick off the new year in the right way. It's on our website at WFAA.com/back-to-school. Dallas Mavericks fans are remembering a basketball legend. Former head coach and Basketball Hall of Famer Don Nelson died yesterday at the age of 86. Janelle Ford is in the newsroom with more on this lasting legacy. Hi, Janelle.
Well, hey, Kara. Don Nelson is just one of those names that's really tied to Mavs basketball history. He got to Dallas in the late 90s when the team had been losing for years. He brought in Dirk Nowitzki and Steve Nash here and was a huge part in turning the Mavs into one of the most exciting teams in the NBA. And Dallas was really just one part of his incredible basketball story. Long before Mavs fans knew him as Nelly, he won 5 NBA championships as a player with the Boston Celtics in the 60s and 70s, then went on to become the second winningest coach in NBA history. And Nelly definitely had his own style. He was creative, he was unconventional, and if you didn't like something on the sideline, you usually knew it. But he also gave his players a lot of freedom, and you're hearing just how much that meant to them and all of the tributes pouring in. Dirk writing in part, "I don't think my career could have turned out how it did without you being my first coach and giving me the freedom to play my game." And Luka Doncic also posting, saying he has, quote, "so much respect for Nelson and what he did for the game, especially the way he believed in international players." Now, we also spoke exclusively with current Mavs CEO Rick Welts, who's known Nelson for decades.
He was one of those guys that brought every ounce of emotion of how he felt about every single game, every single night. And I think that that's one of the things that fans loved about him, right?
Now, Nelson's family says he died peacefully yesterday, surrounded by his loved ones. A celebration of his life is planned for this Thursday at Preston Hollow Presbyterian Church. He was 86 years old. Back to you, Kara.
Thank you, Janelle. And right now, police are investigating a deadly shooting in Northwest Fort Worth. They were called out to Talon's Crest Circle before 9 o'clock last night, where a man was found in a car with a gunshot wound. That person died on scene. Officers say the suspect, who knew the victim, barricaded themselves in a nearby home. They were taken into custody around 4 o'clock this morning. Now turning to the economy, the most recent jobs report showed a loss of 23,000 jobs, a surprise to many insiders. ABC's Karen Hua is in Washington with what President Trump has to say in response to this.
Good morning. In the report from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, jobs in local government, education, retail, and food services took a big hit, but there were jobs added in healthcare and manufacturing. This morning, disappointing news for the health of the nation's economy. The U.S. lost 23,000 jobs in July, showing a cooling labor economy. Analysts had been expecting the addition of more than 80,000 new jobs. National Economic Director Kevin Hassett defending the Trump economy, blaming high prices on the Biden administration.
People are losing their jobs at the lowest level since World War II. We've got all the cyclical things that we normally look at saying that this is an economy that's in liftoff stage.
The latest jobs report coming as many Americans still struggle with the cost of living.
The wage growth is really much slower and struggling to keep up with inflation.
However, President Trump claimed to a crowd in Las Vegas, the economy is the best the U.S. has ever had, despite polls that show otherwise. A new Marquette poll found 61% of Americans say Trump's policies increased inflation, while 57% say gas prices have gone up a lot over the last 6 months.
They're fake polls, just like fake writers.
Checking in on gas prices this morning, the national average sits at $3.95 a gallon, according to Gas Buddy, down more than 10 cents from last week's average. Karen Hua, ABC News, Washington.